everything right.
Jason Tatum throws it down.
He's taking control of the basketball game. His intention is bad. He's getting to the cup.
When adversity hits, you get to see like what a team is really made of, and you just set the tone from the jump. We got to be able to do that into the next game.
We're always going to stay positive. We will win this series. We'll just have to close it out at home.
Celtics and Heat, Game 6 tonight, 8:30 Eastern in Miami. Another must-win for the Celtics. And dating back to last year's playoffs, for the most part, they've been really good in South Beach. 25-point win in Game 2 of the Eastern Conference Finals, their largest margin of victory in a conference finals game on the road. And then Game 5 of that series, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum leading the Celtics to a 13-point win, combining to score 37 in the second half, just one fewer than the entire Heat team combined. And then how about Game 7? Celtics beat the Heat 196 to advance to the NBA Finals, their 7th road win of the postseason, tied for the most by any team entering a finals in the history of the NBA. And then moving ahead to Game 4 of this year's series, the Celtics beat the Heat by 17 in Miami. Jason Tatum leading the way, 33 points, 11 rebounds, 7 assists while logging over 40 minutes. And now we're joined by senior NBA writer Brian Windhorst from Miami. And because Windy likes to keep it real, Windy, we should point out that the Celtics got absolutely blown out and embarrassed in Miami in Game 3. So let's talk about Game 6. I think most of us are expecting a tremendous game. Will Gabe Vincent be part of it?
Yeah, Hannah, they're going to reevaluate him at shoot-around this morning. The question isn't so much even if he's going to play, is how effective can he be? He's shooting 58% in this series, and without him in Game 5, the Heat had their lowest output of the series, just 97 points. They'll get an answer, maybe not even now, but maybe closer to game time, and you can count, if he does play, the Celtics will test him early to see how his mobility might be.
There's been so much appreciation in this series also for Erik Spoelstra. What a terrific coach he has been. All those final 6 of them since 2006, more than any other team in the NBA. What does he have up his sleeve potentially tonight?
Yeah, I think Erik has given some indications, Hannah, that he may change his starting lineup and take Kevin Love out, potentially inserting Caleb Martin. In the second half of Game 5, he took Love out of the starting lineup, and their second half went a little bit better than the opening to the game. The challenge here is the Celtics, since the start of the series, have gone with a smaller starting lineup, taking out Robert Williams and inserting Derek White. That makes them quicker and a little bit more of a stretchy team that is able to get more three-point shooters out there. Love has struggled to defend it. He was a disaster in his first 5 minutes in Game 5. So look for Erik Spoelstra, regardless of whether Gabe Vincent can play, to maybe alter that starting 5.
Very interesting. Before I let you go, can we talk a little bit about Bam Adebayo? He's been turning the ball over 10 times in the last 2 games. What are the Celtics doing defensively on Adebayo?
Yeah, Hannah, so Jimmy Butler may be the Heat's most important player, but Bam Adebayo is their offensive bellwether. He's 6-0. The team is 6-0 this postseason when he scores 20 points or more, while the last 3 games he's only averaged 13. Big reason, the Celtics have been crowding the paint in front of him, trying to cut off his playmaking ability and his passing lanes. And as you mentioned, he has been turning the ball over and has been way less effective offensively. He himself said he's got to review the film. So look for the Heat to have a different game plan for Bam Adebayo as they look to rectify this, what has now become a 2-game losing streak.
Yeah, like you said, he's very aware, was talking about it after Game 5, that he needs to up that sense of urgency, get back to basics. We certainly expect Heat culture to be on full display tonight. Windy, as always, thanks.
Hey, Hannah,
Lost Game 6 in 2020 and 2022. We'll see if history repeats itself again this evening. Warriors have Game 6 Clay. We have Game 6 Corey. It's always great to talk to our hooper, Corey Alexander. I obviously didn't write that. I take no pleasure in this. Corey, help us make sense. Help us make sense of these stats, okay? How does one team, in this case the Celtics, how have they found such continued, sustained success playing in Miami?
Randy, it's been about their defense and their three-point shooting, and it's traveled with them when you get an opportunity to go play on the road
and you know that your defense will be there for you, it gives you a chance. And then when you have zero issues with shooting on an opponent's home floor, and you can step up and make big-time shots in big-time moments, and that's what the Celtics have been able to do in 4 of the past 5 playoff games against the Heat in Miami. 18 three-point field goals for them last time out in Game 5 to be, in Game 4 to be able to get the win on the road. And again, coming up with 17 in the last game. So when you think about what they've been able to do, it's the three-point shooting on the road, and as well as their defense showing up. They're going to need it tonight.
Corey Alexander had 6 points in just 8 minutes in Game 6 of the 96 Western Conference semis for the Spurs. So to try to beat that efficiency here for a second. Meanwhile, back in 2023 here, this series has been a wild roller coaster. Look at the odds here and how they've moved. Boston started out as a heavy favorite heading into Game 1. That ended up being as high as plus 750 before Game 4. Now the Heat are only slight favorites entering Game 6. Corey, how do you see the rest of this series playing out?
Randy, as much as we as basketball fans want to see a Game 7, and you go back and think about all the iconic performances that we've seen from both Jason Tatum, Steph Curry earlier this year, the 56-point game by Jimmy Butler earlier, we want to see a Game 7. We want to see Jason Tatum and Jimmy Butler go at it, see who can have an iconic performance. It's going to happen. I believe the Miami Heat will finish it up at home this evening because I don't believe the Celtics can be rewarded for the way that they played the first 3 games of this series. You can't turn the switch on and off, and by digging such a hole and getting down 3-0, I don't believe we will be rewarded with that Game 7. I think that Miami will find that Heat culture, which has been lacking from the last 2 games where they've averaged 16 turnovers that have led to 27 points in each one of those games for the Celtics. I don't think we'll see that from the Heat tonight. I think we'll see the Heat holding up a trophy and representing the East and, of course, in the NBA Finals.
150 times in NBA playoff history, a team has gone down 3-0. Only 3 times have they even forced a Game 7. Celtics trying to become the 4th team in NBA history to do that. Corey Alexander, Game 6, Corey, on SportsCenter.
How old is he, Doug?